What's going on, gentlemen? It's Flash back with some more charts and another video. It's Tuesday, July 16th, about 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And I got an interesting video for you guys today. I'm going to look at first URA, as you can see here on the screen, Uranium Basket of Equities. But I've also really been kind of taking a closer look at gold and how gold is performing against a myriad of other assets. And I kind of want to get your guys' perspective. So feel free to drop me a comment if you have some thoughts on this. But I'll start with URA first. You know, this is primarily a uranium channel. At least it is right now, right? This is the hot asset that I think has a lot of opportunity in it. So we're here again, July 16th. This time cycle kind of has us bottoming end of July, August 1st, maybe middle of July. But you know, we put in some really good price action last week, and you know, we could be front running the bottom of that time cycle. I'm not quite sure yet, and I could, you know, over here it kind of got a little hairy. We had some good price action up, and then like a double bottom almost. So, you know, I think we could see, you know, something along the lines of either that, or we could come all the way back down sharply and then go up. I'm not quite sure yet, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. So I think URA looks really good. CCJ looks good. A lot of the other ones are they're finding their way, right? But I think this is a good general representation of where we're at. I would be confident in the uranium market. We're above monthly defined support, and you know, we're in this accumulation pattern. I think it's an accumulation pattern, right? So, but here's what I really want to get to, and what I'm thinking is gold looks so strong, and so I'm going to go over to the gold chart. Again, we're on the 2-day time frame. We got the hike and the she candles. I'm going to zoom out to the weekly for number 1. Looks really, really strong. We're going to go out to the monthly for number 2. Looks really, really strong. And then let's zoom out to the quarterly and zoom way out. And like this kind of is a chart that kind of just knocks my socks off personally, right? And this, you know, I follow a lot of Patrick Karim from North Star Bad Charts. And he talks about how gold is really like, it's showing not necessarily gold going up. It's more so showing the decline of the purchasing power of the US dollar, right? You can mine more gold. You can't really print more gold. You know, it's the truest form, I think, of money and how to retain purchasing power. I think this is more so a reflection of the value of, in this case, the US dollar going down over time. And you can make the argument for Bitcoin. That's awesome. That's great. But right now I'm kind of focused on gold. I think Bitcoin is still a little too young to kind of be put into that bucket, I guess you could say. But so here's what I'm thinking. Like, gold is looking so strong. You know, whether we visit the top of this channel at like 25,000, I think that it's within the realm of possibilities, right? You know, maybe we visit the midpoint of this channel at, you know, 6,500. You know, or we just kind of continue up this channel, you know. So there's a lot of different possibilities. I don't think we're necessarily going to go down, okay? And so number 1, and first and foremost, gold is looking so strong. It looks so good. And I kind of find myself thinking like, hey, man, maybe instead of playing leveraged equities, you know, uranium miners, gold, silver miners, like maybe I should just be holding gold. And like, I don't know. So I'm this is kind of like a stream of consciousness video. Again, would love to hear your thoughts. You know, we can look at the gold measured in the S&P 500. You know, we can zoom way out again on this one. This again is on the quarterly. And it just looks like, you know, we're in a falling wedge in a larger bull pattern. Like there's just increased volatility here throughout the last 100 years really of equities winning, then gold winning, equities winning, now gold winning, equities winning, and now I think gold will take over. That's what I'm thinking. But it hasn't been confirmed yet, right? So we're still on the month. We're now on the monthly here. Like, we're gonna know if gold is gonna break out versus the S&P 500, right? We have our momentum here on the monthly. Like, there's some points we want to get above. You know, you can make an argument there's one even right here. That's really just above the zero line. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is we're gonna know if gold is gonna begin to outperform the S&P 500, and if there's gonna be a big capital rotation into gold and into the commodity complex, as I refer to it. And so, I've got my ratios here on the right. We want to kind of look at, okay, how is URA performing against gold? You guys have seen this chart before. And, this is kind of like, okay, we had a big breakout here, consolidation. Looks like we broke out of this horizontal, only has a couple touch points on it. The moving average is going up. We want to see this continue to go up, right? We don't want to see this like come down. And because these are monthly candles, like, takes a long time to play out. And so just looking how strong gold is URA going to be able to keep up with this chart, this gold chart, right? And then Patrick Karim also looks at ASA. ASA is an ETF, I think. It's a gold and precious metals fund. And the reason he looks at this is because there's just so much data of miners. We'll go out to the quarterly again. And you can see I kind of put a time cycle on here as well. Kind of follows, we'll see if it holds up or not. But that's just me kind of playing around. But you see, like, miners can do really well, and then they can do terribly, and then they can do really well and do terribly. But then when you look at ASA and you measure it in gold, you kind of understand the true value of this fund, the precious metals fund, over a long period of time. And again, we're still on the quarterly time frame. But again, if you measure it in gold, ASA is just going down and to the right. Like, long story short, like, if you want to play the miners, there may be a time and a place to do it, but really it's a bear market rally when you're doing that. And so, this chart is pretty interesting, right? Like, there could be a bull on here. We kind of have a little breakout line, back test. Like, I think if we want to play the miners through, 2029, I think if this price action continues to ride up the bull, I think we're in the right. I think that's the right path. But if this rolls over and just kind of continues going down, it's like, hey, the chart was telling you ASA rarely outperforms gold. And just gold looking as strong as it does, you just wonder if ASA and the miner complex can keep up. And so let's go back to the ASA chart. I'm going to put it on the monthly. I'm going to put it on the line chart. And let's just add, for the sake of conversation, GDXJ, Gold Junior Miners ETF. We'll put it in the log scale. And you can see, like, GDXJ really matches up nicely with ASA. It's tracking the same capital flows. And that's what Pat says a lot. And even we can continue this. We can add on SILJ, the silver junior miners. Whoops, and we'll just put that on log, shrink that down a little bit. And man, you can see it. They're all right in line. And just to take it one step further, let's add URA, Global X Uranium ETF. Put that in the log as well. And then it's like, there is definitely right here, there's similarities, and then they've all bottomed at the same time. And then URA really, GDXJ and SILJ went up before URA did. But, I don't know, like, URA doesn't exactly match up with this. It does a little bit. I would say it's less like the others though, right? But you can see we're all going up right now. Okay, so if ASA is pretty much a match of GDXJ, SILJ, maybe URA, this looks pretty nice. Like, this time cycle is kind of telling us, hey, we still have a lot of room to the upside to run from a timing perspective. But I think generally we should be careful of gold really just outperforming the miners. We want ASA, this is ASA measured in gold, we want this to ride up the arc. If it breaks out of this channel in 5 years, we'll make that decision when it comes to it, but we want to make sure that this is going to hold. And so we're below the 3-year moving average. We got to make that support. I think there's a lot of work to do. And so just going back, okay, URA measured in gold. We want to see this break out of the wedge that it's currently in, if you want to call that a wedge. The thing that really makes my eyes light up is CCJ measured in gold. Again, we're on the monthly here, but this looks bullish to me. Back here you had a nice inverse head and shoulders that played out strongly to the upside. So gold CCJ has proven to outperform gold in the past. And then you had a big bear market breakout, crazy retest right here. And then I guess you could kind of make the argument for that maybe. I know that's kind of a messy drawing, but this looks bullish to me. Gotta take my magnet off. We kind of have this go little triangle here. Jeez, I'm all over the place, my mouse. Okay, so CCJ compared to gold, I think that looks really good. We're just consolidating against it. And if CCJ breaks out against gold, like, I'm all in on the uranium space. Like, it's CCJ, I think, is the stock to own. Like, if you have friends or family, not financial advice, but if they're looking to get into uranium, like, man, I would just look at CCJ, to be honest. And so again, kind of a stream of consciousness, guys, but I think, gold is the one to watch. I would definitely, I'm thinking about, I don't know if you want to own physical gold or there's digital gold, like, it's tough to call, but where am I going with this, right? I think, that we want to keep our eye on URA measured in gold. We want to make sure that gold is going to outperform S&P 500. We want to attract that capital into the commodity space. And we want to pick, jockeys, so to speak, that are going to win or outperform in this race, the race to the top. And so I think keeping track of assets priced in gold rather than the US dollar, which appears to be eroding over time, you might see a lot of these stocks literally do insane moves measured in the US dollar, because I think it's melting away, the US dollar, right? So we really want to be measuring things in gold at the end of the day. And, let's keep our eye on ASA measured in gold. We want to, this could be an inverse head and shoulders in the making. I'm not quite sure yet. ASA has this time cycle, whether that's accurate or not. It looks pretty good, at least from, back from the 2000s. So man, I'm appreciative of things priced in gold, I guess you could say. And so again, kind of a stream of consciousness, guys. Drop me a like, drop me a comment if you have a perspective on this. Drop me a ticker that you may want to see. I've been adding a few to my uranium list, and I should be back, later this week to review those. So hope you enjoyed this. Hope you find it helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.